how is everybody doing? Eva here. I'm here for another episode of the It's Her Business show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For everybody who is joining me, please say hi. Also, please give StreamYard permission so that I can see your name. So there's a link up above. You want to click that to make sure we can see your name when you engage. Otherwise, it's just going to be, it's going to say Facebook user. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about the difference between one-on-one and a group program and how you can think about it when you're making a strategic decision about what you should do in 2021 to scale your business. So hello, everybody. Let me know where you're joining me from. I'm so excited to connect with you. And also, we're on a 2-week countdown before our Serve Method retreat. So everybody who's joining us in that January Serve Retreat group, you're registered. For everybody who's seeing us elsewhere rather than the pop-up group created for the retreat, you're probably not registered yet. So keep that in mind. We're going to share the registration link sometimes at the end. But anyway, welcome, 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 welcome. So today, I want to dive right in because we have a lot to cover and we have about 28 minutes to do it. So everybody grab the paper. Also, feel free to pop any questions you have about a group program versus one-to-many in the chat. So happy to be here with you. So we could put this together because we have been hearing a lot of things, a lot of hesitations, a lot of questions about creating a group program. And there are things like, I really want to scale, but I am really good at one-on-one and I'm not sure I'll be this good at the group stuff. Or people saying, okay, I want a group program, but I don't know how I'm going to gather a bunch of people to start at the same time. And I'm really worried when I launch my group program, it's going to be just like 1 or 2 people, and then they're going to join. They're going to be like, where's everybody else, right? So, or maybe you're thinking, I'm really worried I'm going to be stuck with the wrong people for a lot of time, and I won't really like it. Or maybe you really know that you really want to scale and the one-to-many solution is a thing for you, but you're not quite feeling confident about how to put it together and how it's all going to work and that your clients are going to get the results. So does that just about sum up what everybody's feeling? Feel free to put yes, this resonates, or no, I have different concerns in the chat. So I'm going to say to some people, so hello to some people. Oh, also, I want to introduce myself for those of you guys who don't know me. My name is Eva Polikova. I'm a business strategist and a business coach, and I am also the founder of Quantum Leap Entrepreneur, our year-long incubators where we take our entrepreneurs from 0 to 6 and multi-6 figures in a year. I also have my team here of wonderful, wonderful humans who are experts in their field, who have been working with our clients for quite some time, who have a lot of advice, a lot of expertise, and a lot of experience. So you're going to see Selena, you're going to see Melissa, you're going to see Jay in the chat. So make sure you're connecting with them. You probably have a welcome DM from one of us, welcoming you to the group, finding out what you're working on so that we can really, really serve you better in our upcoming Serve Method retreat. So welcome, everybody. All right, so where do I want to start this? Okay, so there is, when you're making the decision about should you go one-to-one or one-to-many, first thing you need to look at is, what is your goal? What is your vision for the future? What do you really, really want out of your business? For some of you, you want to create a hobby business and income on the side and coach a handful of people, okay? In that case, it's perfectly okay to do one-to-one, charge $150 an hour, and kind of be done with it. And that's just like your fun side business, okay? However, if you're looking to provide a living for you and your family, and you say you want to, bring in at least $100,000 of income to support your and your family's goals, then you want to develop a program where you're going to be bringing in more than $100,000 because you are going to have business expenses. Typically in the business growth phases, it's about 50% of your revenue gets reinvested right? So what you need to think about, people say, oh, I want to make 6 figures. Well, that's great. But if you make 6 figures in revenue, that means you're going to be having about 50K of income, take-home income. And, for the number of hours you're working, you have to pay for babysitting, this and that. Doesn't exactly leave you with a whole lot of money, right? So you need to really take a step back and think strategically, which path is going to support me and my business? So for example, if you want to bring home $100,000 in income, you need to generate about $200,000 in revenue, right? Because you're going to pay out your VA, business coaching expense on Facebook ads, this and that, right? You're going to reinvest some of it into the further growth, and that's kind of how it works, right? You're not taking home everything that you're making in revenue, okay? Now, you need to reverse engineer this a little bit further, okay? So when you say, all right, I want to make $200,000 next year, then you got to think about how many hours a week do I actually have to serve clients? When I'm doing this lead generation, lead nurture, sales, content, talking to potential clients, blah, 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 leading my team, all these other things you need to do as a business owner. The point of CEO of an empire is not to fill your calendar with 40 hours of coaching a week. It doesn't work like that. It's not possible, okay? Because you would burn out. That would stretch your week to about 100, 120 hours, right? In which case, you would not be able to do what you do because you would be burnt out. Am I making sense to everybody here? I hope so. Give me some yays or nays in the chat. So, all right. So now the reality of it is, if you're working full time, meaning 40 hours a week in your business, you have about 10 hours a week to serve your clients. That's about it, right? So now let's do some more math. Hopefully you guys can keep up with me. All right. So let's do some math here. You are wanting to generate 100,000 in profit, which means 200,000 in revenue, and you have 10 hours a week to serve your clients. You know what that means? You need to be making $411 an hour of client serving hour. 411. Is that making sense to everybody? You can do the math later on your calculator. Trust me on this because I've done it right before for some of our clients. And that's where you need to look, right? So you need to take a step back and say, okay, can I charge this much in my private coaching program? And some of you absolutely can. Some of you guys are charging $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month for your private coaching services because you're working with super, super high-end clientele and you're serving that market. For some of you, you're serving markets that don't quite have $10,000 a month lying around for coaching. And I would suggest that's probably the majority of you. And you're looking at, okay, how can I serve my people? How can I serve them at high level? How can I make sure they're getting unbelievable results? How can I really make sure my clients are happy while at the same time making my $411 an hour, okay? Or whatever, $416, something like that, right? And the answer is high touch group program. High touch group program, right? Can I have one-to-one component? Absolutely. Because for your group coaching hour, you're going to be making, I don't know, $1,500 a month very, very quickly versus for your, one-to-one, it's going to be a lot less. You can have both components in the program, right? But you need to average, that's what you need to average per coaching hour if that's your income goal. Is this making sense to everybody? Love to hear some feedback. Hi, Donisha, so good to see you. All right, let's see who else is here. So I would love to kind of like get your feedback of, is this making sense? And yeah, buts, how abouts, what ifs, anything like that. Okay. So, okay. All right. So the next thing you need to think about, the first thing obviously is your income. The next thing is your clients. You need to think of your potential clients and ask yourself, what's the best way? What's the best way I can deliver them results? And I want you to just take a step back for a minute. And I want you to think about, I want you to dream up the most amazing testimonial, okay? Like a client gives you a testimonial after 6 months to a year working with you. What are they saying? What is the most amazing result you delivered for them, okay? What does life look like for them? Right? What is the vision? What is the end result? Everybody just got that? Imagine that testimonial. Now think about what is the amount of support? What is the program that is going to get them to that result? And sometimes it is one-to-one, and sometimes it is not at all one-to-one. Sometimes there's a very, very heavy group component. I'm going to give you an example of how we started. So I started with lots of one-on-one coaching, and I was doing, 30-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute sessions once a week. And it was really hard, right? Because we couldn't get into everything we wanted to do. Then I said, okay, I'm going to do 4-hour VIP intensives once a month, but there was no accountability in between. And the amount of stuff that entrepreneurs have to learn when building their business is insane. It's insane. All the nuances of lead generation, lead nurture, lead conversion, what to say, how to run a connect call, how to run a, like, there's so many things. It's endless. How to, we could talk for hours how to, do a pitch lab and how to pitch on camera. There's like endless of things that people need to master to go from 0 to 6 to multi 6 to 7 figures. Okay. And it was literally not possible to deliver it in a one-to-one solution and get people the big, fast results that I had to get them. Right? And that's why I said, okay, I cannot do it. I would have to literally work 100-hour weeks and give them so much of my time, still wouldn't get there. So that's when we transition to one-to-many group model. It does have one-on-one component. It does have one component, something that is super important to me. But I want you to think about what has the most integrity, right? What kind of programming has the most integrity? How often do people need to be in your energy, in the energy of transformation? Reminded, if you're a spiritual teacher, spiritual coach of any kind, like how often do they need to be reminded to separate from their ego mind or whatever you have? How often do they have to be reminded to have these quick reminders to live healthy, to do their inner work, to do their emotional work, whatever it is that you're taking them through, okay? You need to be looking at what has. Hi, Perlette. So good to see you here. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you so much for the feedback. Dawn, good to have you in the house. So I really want you to look at what has the most integrity. And then, right? And really honestly, like regardless of what you feel comfortable doing right now, take a look at what is really right for the client. And many times there really is a group program. I see this all the time. So now, you also need to look, and I'm going to give you an extra dimension, lots to think about today. And don't worry, we're going to go quite deeper in our 7-day retreat. So you don't have to solve it all today now, okay? But the third dimension I want you to think through is what is your customer progression model? Because too many times I see people launching here, launching this. Here is a program for this group of people, that group of people. I want you to think differently. I want you to think about how can I retain customer for life? How can I get them from here to here to here to here? Okay. How can I continue with them on the journey? How can I keep supporting them? What is the customer progression? What is the milestones that they're going to be making with me? Okay. What is the results over here and then over here and then over here? Okay. And then what this can look like is a few different scenarios. All right. So first, it can look like some of you are going to start at one-to-many in a group program and then transition to one-to-one, okay? So for example, you know that there's information that you coach and teach on all the time and you just don't want to repeat yourself anymore. That's when you know you need to kick everybody off with a group program. Maybe 6 months, maybe year. I really love year. I'm just going to warn you. I absolutely never ever recommend like 6 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever. Too many reasons for that. And we're going to go over that. And if you have questions, feel free to like hop in a DM and chat with us about that. But right, when you know you're teaching the same stuff over and over and over that everybody needs to know, a milestone that every single one of your clients has to go through, that's when you really kick off with a group program. For us, that is a no-brainer. Everybody needs to master lead generation, lead nurture, sales, doing online events, selling on camera, right? Like basic tech, basic team building, getting their first VA, getting them profitable, yada, right? So that's when you have an opportunity for a group program. Then you can decide to graduate people that are super, superstar performers into a very, very high ticket private program, right? So in your space, it could be, I don't know, like a different spiritual journey, right? Like very advanced stuff, teaching them advanced intuitive psychic skills, whatever that might translate to in your program, right? But the general level that everybody has to move into that program, like that's a requirement. Does that make sense? Right? So that's one of the ways you can look at it. Or a completely different solution, turn it on its head. This is what a couple of our clients are doing, is starting with one-to-one and then graduating people into one-to-many. What does that look like? For example, we have a client that does trauma healing for men with sexual and porn addictions, right? Those men are not comfortable talking in a group program about their porn addiction yet, anyway, right? Until they go through a 6 to 12 months, very deep healing, one-to-one transformational journey. Very, very high ticket. Then they're ready to, when they've healed, they've transformed, they want to meet other people like them, okay? Then they're ready to graduate into one-to-many. Does that make sense to everybody? Is this making sense, right? So it really depends on what you teach, right? We have another client that is dealing with work with teenagers, and the teenagers don't want to be on group calls. They're telling, I don't have social anxieties. I don't want to talk to other teenagers, right? So that's when a one-on-one component needs to be there to warm them up, to do some of the deep work, get them excited about this, and then they're going to want to meet other kids like that. Does that make sense? So that is another way you can think about it. And a third version is a one-to-many with a strong one-on-one component. One-to-many with a strong one-on-one component, okay? What you're going to have is a group program that has a one-on-one touch, right? We do that in our program. Everybody has their own coach in the program, right? Who's not me, but everybody has their coach who holds their hand, who meets with them, talks with them about the implementation, right? They also have access to me and weekly calls and blah, 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 blah. We have tons of different calls they have access to, but they have their own implementation advisor, their business advisor that they work with, right? So you can think about it that way too, that you can decide to handle some issues in a group setting and then separate out certain issues that might be sensitive that your clients need to support on, and separate out an individual component that can be run by you, or that can be run with other people that you mentor. It can be clients that have graduated and they want to help facilitating. You can hire somebody to do that and train them. It can be a professional coach that you hire, so on and so forth. There's a number of ways you could structure it, but I highly, highly recommend that. Okay, so those are the three most ways you can think about it. We get a lot of questions about like memberships and courses and blah, 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 blah. So I want to talk about that for a second. Courses, my favorite thing to hate on, basically. So I don't like people launching courses because most of the time when you think about courses, the difference between what we do in courses is that courses have no support, and people generally fail doing courses because they don't have the one-on-one touch, they don't have the support, the accountability is not there. Therefore, most people that enroll into online courses tend to not finish them, fail, number of things, not actually implement, right? So, yes, it was appealing to me as well. Oh, passive income, right? It's going to be very exciting, except it's so not true at all. Number one, you can't charge what you charge for programs with one-to-one support. It's the fraction, right? Like we were launching something for $57 or whatever. And what happened is that our cost per conversion running Facebook ads and this and that after a mountain of testing was like $400 to get a person in. It was crazy. I was like, this is so not worth it. And even when we started getting people, I was like, but the people, I don't know, like, are they getting results? Are they not? Like, I don't get to see them. I don't get to talk to them. I don't get to do what I love doing, which is serving people, right? I'm like pre-recording something, launching up there. It sounds good, but for me, and if you're anything like me and you really, really like learning and serving and giving and really make sure your clients succeed, then maybe courses are not where to go. Can you have courses? as a maintenance program or membership as a maintenance program for graduates of your program, one-to-one or one-to-many, whatever, yes, absolutely, right? But, it's not for everybody. Not everybody's going to get results. Some people will, right? Some people will. Most of the times it doesn't work that way. Another phenomenon I want to tell you is that I can think of an example of a person that, told me, hey, I saw your course landing page. Really loved it. Almost bought. I'm like, well, why didn't you buy? And she says, well, I don't have the money. And I was thinking, okay, it was $57 a month. That person ended up enrolling in my year-long program, which was much, much, much higher prices. Not even in the same realm. It's not even a comparison, right? So it's not so much that they don't have the money sometimes. It's just that they don't see the value in it. So I hope this is making sense to everybody. So memberships and courses, membership can mean many, many different things, but you want to make sure you design an unbelievable program that really, really does deliver the results. And by the way, we're going to spend day one of the retreat, the Serve Method retreat. We're going to spend day one talking about this. So I want everybody there on day one. It's going to be, in Zoom on the 25th, and you're going to have a worksheet. You're going to think through the elements of your program. You're going to think through the 4 different components that are going to make sure that you deliver on the transformation, that people are actually getting results, because that's super important. If you're trying to sell a group program, you need to make sure that you can trust that it's going to deliver results, right? Otherwise, it's not going to sell. So for those of you guys who are, by the way, who are not registered in the retreat, I think Selena put a link above. So make sure you register into that. If you were in the Serve retreat group, if you're in the January retreat group, you don't need to do that. You're already registered, and we can't wait to see you there a couple weeks from today. So let's see. We get a lot of questions about how long should it be and pricing and this and that. So we're going to cover all that on day one. I don't want to go into too many details here, but I will tell you the longer, the better, because the longer you give to people, the more results they're going to get. Okay. Because literally 6 to 12 weeks program, just like by the time they're done, like they haven't even started, right? When you think about the area that you practice, health and wellness, for example, can you really, yes, you can help them lose weight in 3 months or whatever, but can you make sure they, keep it off? If you do spiritual transformation of any sort, we both know that that is a whole life journey. It's not a 6-week journey, right? Or a 12-week journey and whatever, right? Business building on any sort, that's absolutely a no-brainer. But for most areas, for most things that you're teaching people, they really, really need time to get results, right? So if you put people through some kind of 8-week whatever, and because you have been part of these like 8-week boot camps, and like, what did you ended up with? A whole lot of nothing, right? So you need to make sure you're creating a program that has enough time and space to really get people the results. Okay. So really don't think about in terms of what people can buy and what they will buy and whatever, and their commitment and whatnot. You need to create a program that has the most possible integrity, that has the most chance to actually cause the trend and deliver the transformation, right? And we're going to have the mindset shifts in the retreat about that. Don't worry about it, because, I was so scared to sell a year-long program when I first started. I can't even tell you how. I was like, going from 3 months to like 12 months, totally terrified. And then I realize that people are actually excited. They want to work with somebody who will actually commit to them for that length of time. It was like a total transformation for me. So if you have questions about it, again, feel free to chat with us in the DM. You have Melissa, you have Jay, you have myself. We're available to you. You probably have a message from one of us already. So make sure you're connecting with us and asking those questions so that you're going into day one as prepared as possible. So a couple things. Let me just check if there's anything else I wanted to cover. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's all about what I wanted to cover for today. The rest we're going to make sure we cover on day one. For those of you guys who, have questions, want to know how to work with us, make sure you DM us. We also are going to put a link to our free consult calendar below. So if you want to find out, we work with people, all that jazz, make sure to schedule a free consult with us. We do those all the time. I want to give you a little bit of, how to get ready for the retreat, because I know that's what we're all excited about. So the retreat, it kicks off on the 25th. It's going to be on Zoom. We're going to send out the link to the Zoom room before. We don't have it quite ready yet. A few things that you really want to be ready for. Number one, there's going to be a worksheet. The worksheet is super, super important. You're going to get that ahead of time from your person here, whether it's me or it's Jay or it's Melissa, okay? Number two, it's going to be on the Zoom session. We're only going to do this on a Zoom live session. We're going to be passing every single night a link to an implementation call sign-up sheet. Every single day, we're going to discuss a topic, and then we're going to do a series of 10 minutes laser focused implementation calls with your advisor. This is a huge value. You're not going to get anywhere else. You're going to work with us for free, which is crazy. In these implementation sessions, you're going to take what you learned. So for example, on day one, you're going to learn all about creating a program. On the implementation call, we're going to be putting it together with you, okay? Because every single person has a very different scenario, very different client. We want to make sure it works for your clients. Same thing on day two. We're going to talk about engineering your legacy brand, your own method, formula, whatever you have. On implementation call after that, we're going to be talking about we're going to be giving you feedback. Does this work? Is this branding going to hit your ideal client? Is it positioned right? Okay. Same thing on day three. We're going to reverse engineer your revenue down to a week, down to a day. How does it work? What week of the year are you doing what? How does your number of registrations, blah, 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 blah. Tons of math. Then we're going to be meeting with you on an implementation session, going into the nitty gritty. Does this work? Okay. So those implementation sessions are going to be, the sign-up sheet is going to be on the Zoom session. So make sure you clear your calendar. You're on the Zoom session live. And at the end, we're going to be passing the implementation sheet every single night so that you can sign up for the next day. Okay. So, Cheryl is asking, how do we get the worksheet? I don't see how to DM you. Okay. So could somebody send a DM or send a link to the DM, the m.me link to Cheryl so that she knows how to connect with one of us, either with Melissa or Jay or myself. So, okay, awesome. Okay. So, if you go to Cheryl, if you put in the chat m.me/JD a DM from Jay is going to pop up, probably. If you are new to the group today, you probably haven't gotten a DM yet. She's going to get to it soon. So you guys are all going to get a welcome DM, welcome to the group. You know, we want to learn more about you. Going to send you the worksheet. I don't have it ready quite yet. I'm still working on it. I'm still talking to a ton of you. As you guys know, we're on tons of these Connect calls, talking to you about what you're needing. I'm still tweaking the content. So I just still don't have the retreat ready. We have tons of other resources we can give you, however, in the meantime. So there's going to be also breakout rooms on day one and day two. So make sure, if you can at all, be on camera, because you're going to meet other people in the retreat like you that are building and scaling their business to, you know, just unbelievable hopes, goals and dreams. So you're going to meet other people in the breakout sessions. You're going to make some wonderful connections. So that's going to be part of it. We're going to do guided visualization, meditation, lots of fun to be had. There's going to be homework every single night, implementation calls. It's going to be amazing. My goal for you is to, when you, I want this to be a retreat that is worth more to you than anything you've ever paid for when it comes to coaching or whatever courses you are in. And that's my goal for you. Okay. So I cannot wait to see you, everybody there. I hope this has been of value to you. Let me know any feedback, any questions. I'm going to jump because we have a team meeting, but it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you. There's a link to sign up for the retreat if you haven't had yet. There's a link for consult if you haven't had one yet. Can't wait to connect with you. And I will see you guys next week here.